Hey y'all, Beth here. It has been a long minute since I have posted a video, and I'm very grateful for those of you that have been waiting for my next video to drop. I have had to spend the last couple months really focusing on my business because I need to focus on that thing which pays the bills, and I'm sure you understand that. Unfortunately, YouTube does not pay the bills, not yet anyway. So if you would like a lot more content from me, I would be very grateful if you would subscribe and share, and most importantly, watch this video to the end because that really helps with those YouTube analytics. So I'm going to share a little bit about what has been going on with my life, my carnivore life specifically, over the last 400 days. When I realized that today is day 400 of my carnivore journey, I had to post a video and get you updated on what's been going on. So I wanted to go back a little bit in time and also share some information about a challenge that I did for myself in November and December, and I'm going to share that with you. I want to update you a little bit about the Carnivore cruise that I went on and some of the people that I met there. That was just amazing. And lastly, I'm going to talk about the reason that for me personally, my results have stalled a little bit when they do stall, and I have figured out what causes that, and I'm going to share that with you at the end. First, I want to report results to you to a challenge that I did with myself in November and December. I committed to doing the slow burn workouts at the gym every week. And the goal was to gain muscle without gaining weight in the months of November and December. So that's over the holidays, which is typically a time when I gain 3 to 5 pounds on average in the past. So my goal was to work out, gain muscle, don't gain weight. If you're not familiar with the slow burn workout, that is described in the book by Fred Hahn and Mary Dean Eads called The Slow Burn Fitness Revolution. And basically, to summarize the slow burn workout for you, it is, for instance, a shoulder press. The slow burn workout means going very, very slowly, pushing the weight up very, very slowly. I usually do a count of 10 up, a count of 15 to 20 coming down, and I'm just counting in my head. And that is literally how slow it is. And you want to use an amount of weight that you will reach muscle failure, or let's call it success. You'll reach muscle failure in about 1.5 minutes. So count all the way up, very, very slow down, and you've got your timer running, maybe on your phone. And if you get to 1.5 minutes and you have not reached that muscle failure, then the next time you need to increase the weight. So it's very, very slow. It avoids the possibility of injury and damage to the muscles. So it's just a very safe, and I have found a very effective workout. The other benefit of that is that it only takes 1.5 to 2 minutes to set up the machine, do the set, then move to the next machine, set up the machine, do the set. And my workouts were lasting 20 to 25 minutes, depending on which day. So I came up with a plan where I was basically doing push exercises on one day and pull exercises on the other. I was very intentional about not doing anything except the slow burn workouts while I was at the gym. Although at the end of 20 minutes, you're like, I just got here. I just got started. I'm not even sweating yet. What am I going to do? I made myself go home. I did a little bit of stretching. Fred actually said, stretching is not necessary, but I do enjoy stretching. And I do feel like it helps me with my overall health to stay flexible. But, 20 minutes, 25 minutes in the gym, out twice a week. The only cardio I did during this challenge was my daily walks with Cricket. You may have noticed that we have a very large Great Pyrenees We live in a townhouse on a very small lot. We have a backyard that's really not much bigger than this bedroom. And so Cricket, being a large dog, she needs to be walked several times a day. And we have a great trail here where we can do that. So we walk her 3 to 4 times a day. And so I get 3 to 5 miles of walking in almost every day, unless BJ's out of town, and then I have to do all of the walks. And if I'm doing the walks with Cricket by myself every day, I can easily get 13,000 to 15,000 steps in a day, which is fantastic. And, but the point is, the only cardio I did was walking Cricket. I did do a little bit of tennis during this time and one Pilates workout on the Pilates Reformer class. And I am here to tell you, you can do strength training all day long and not get sore. Another benefit of Carnivore, I don't get sore after my workouts. But you do Pilates one time and you'll have trouble walking for 3 days. It's just how it affects me. Maybe you don't have the same results after a Pilates class, but I did do one Pilates class during this time. So it was mostly just the 20-minute workouts. So I decided I was going to measure the success of this program with an InBody test. My fitness center offers InBody tests as a service to their members. It costs $15 to do the InBody test. So I did an InBody test in the beginning of November, the beginning of December, and the beginning of January. And so I'm about to play you a recording that I did on my first InBody test with Emma, my trainer. She helped me with the InBody all 3 times, and she helped me go over my results and analyze my results. So here's the video from the InBody. Hey y'all, Beth here. I'm at the fitness center at our club with our awesome trainer, Emma, and today is day 1 of my 2-month strength training challenge. And Emma is going to do an InBody test on me to get a baseline for this, and we're going to see where this goes over the next 2 months. So Emma, while I'm cleaning and taking off my shoes, would you kind of explain what the InBody is?
Yes, so the InBody is a full body composition scan, basically measuring more than just your BMI, but it shows you the percentage of your body fat and your muscle all in one. It also shows you cool things like your body water, how many calories you should be eating, what your basal metabolic rate is, just lots of great information. So this will be really good for you to track your progress.
Yes. And I've already done a couple InBodies in the past, but I've not been consistent in my workouts for the last 3 months. Ever since we got that dog, and she requires a lot of walking. So I have done a lot of walking, and I've been playing a lot of tennis because it's been tennis season. So now, for November and December, I'm focused on getting back in the gym and really going to work on this strength. So Emma, how's this going to work?
Okay, so you're going to step on the metal pieces right here. It's going to send bioelectrical impulses through your muscle and your fat, and that is how it measures.
Okay.
So yeah, this will be your weight, and then it'll ask you a few questions, your phone number and stuff like that. And grip those things tight, pull your arms straight and away from your body. And then don't talk or move.
So go to Disney.
Awesome sauce. Hey, hi. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. All right, Emma. So you get to explain my results to me now.
Okay.
So what do we got here?
So up here, this is where actually, let's start here. So this is going to be your entire body composition. So this is how each of these are broken up into your total weight. So you have your total body water here, your lean body mass, which is all your muscle, and then that is your weight, all of this combined.
Okay.
So the lower half just kind of breaks everything down more specifically. So this is your muscle to fat ratio.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you actually do want to be more in a D shape rather than a C shape because you want your muscle mass to be a little bit more than your body fat mass. So
Okay.
you would just want to work on building that muscle, which is why you're working.
Why I'm here.
So that's great. This is what we're going to look at to track your progress on the next one.
Okay.
But you are in the middle range here. This is where you want to be, right on this line, all the way down. So you still have a great amount of muscle and you're still in a healthy range for body fat. So the only thing you want to work on is getting it more evened out.
Okay.
This right here is going to be your BMI and your percent body fat. We don't really look at BMI as much just because it's not as accurate as looking at the entire picture.
Right.
So we're just going to focus on body fat here, which is in a very healthy range. And yeah, everything looks wonderful. Your visceral fat levels kind of similar here, except this is going to be the fat that's protecting your organs.
Right.
You want to be in a 6 to 10 range here, and you're at 7, so that's so healthy all around. Your fat levels are perfect.
Good.
Okay, this right here is how your muscle is broken up. So you are very proportionate all the way through. You're in this middle range for everything, your arms, your trunk, your legs. It looks like you don't have any imbalances. The only slight imbalance I see are between your arms. Looks like your right arm is just a little bit stronger, but
Tennis.
Yeah, there you go. Not a drastic difference though. And this will also be what we track your progress with so that we can see where you're putting on muscle faster and slower and all that.
Okay.
So, and then this right here is going to be your body water, so just kind of showing how hydrated you are, how healthy your cells are. If we saw it get too low, shows you're really dehydrated. If it gets too high, that's indicative of diabetes and other health issues.
Okay, we don't want that.
No, but you're in a great range. Okay, up here, this is basically saying that if you wanted to be completely shredded, not an ounce of body fat, you just want to be at your most lean possible, you would need to lose, it would suggest you lose 8.8 pounds. For women, we tend to hold on body fat. It's healthy for us to have a little body fat, so I would not tell you to lose all 8.8 pounds. Maybe 4 or 5. Something like that, but again, you're in such a healthy range for body fat that I wouldn't really recommend losing any. And as you build muscle, it'll naturally kind of balance out anyway.
Right.
We already covered visceral fat. This right here is basically this section, except with your body fat, so how it's broken up across your whole body.
Okay.
It looks like you're carrying most in your trunk, which is normal for everybody, because that's consisting glutes, core, back, all of it. So.
Right.
And then this right here is your basal metabolic rate. So this is how many calories you're burning at rest without working out or without doing anything. This is
I'll
just
do it now.
sitting on the couch. This is how many calories you're burning.
Okay.
So it's good when you're not working out to be about 200 to 300 above this number, because that's going to support any extra daily activity that you do, like blow drying your hair, brushing your hair, anything like that, burning calories. So you definitely want to be above this number, and it sounds like you're eating.
I'm getting 1,600, 1,700 a day.
Yeah, when you start working out,
I'm gonna probably have to add more.
A little bit more, or you could keep it at this, and you'll kind of be in a calorie deficit. You just might be a little fatigued, but it wouldn't be a crazy difference.
Right.
And
I'll probably add more fat.
Yeah. And then down here, it's just going to track everything in an easy to read little graph pattern.
So you can see that I've gained a little bit of weight since the last one I did, but I've also gained a lot of muscle mass.
Yeah. It's actually that weight that you gained is coming strictly from this muscle.
From the muscle mass.
Because your body fat has gone down, and then you're like super hydrated from the last one too.
My hydration has gone up, so good deal.
Yes.
Thank you, Emma.
Of course.
I appreciate it, and I'll see you again in about a month.
Yes.
And we'll do this again, and then we'll do it again the 1st of January. See where we're starting 25. Thank you.
Of course.
So here's a close-up of what those InBody sheets look like. This is the results that print off after you do the InBody test. This is the very first one that I ever had done. And you can see that this was on May 1st, and my weight was 141.8. My skeletal muscle mass, that's lean body muscle mass, was 54, and my percent body fat was 30.3. And you can also see that this ECW, TBW, I won't mention it again, but that has to do with hydration. And up here you can see that my BMI by this time had already come down into what they consider a healthy range. I had started out at 165 pounds and I was just slightly in the overweight range, but that came down pretty quickly as soon as I got on Carnivore. This is the one that I did on November 4th. So I just want to focus on this part down here. So you can see that by then my weight had come down to 36.6 pounds. My skeletal muscle mass or lean body mass was 53.8 pounds. It had actually gone up a little bit from the previous one that I had done, but still down from the first one. And then my percent body fat has a nice steady straight line coming down to 27.9%. And then my hydration is normal. And here you can see that my visceral fat was 7. And what Emma said was that you like for this shape of these right here to actually not be a C shape, but more like a D shape, meaning that your skeletal muscle mass is greater than your body fat mass and your weight. So high skeletal muscle, lower weight and body fat. So that's ideal when that makes the shape of a D. So that's the first one that I did during my challenge. The second one that I did during my challenge, my weight had gone down from 136.6 to 132.9. My skeletal muscle mass made a pretty significant jump from 53.8 to 54.2. And my percent body fat continued to go down and is down to 26. And this was on the 3rd of December. By now, my visceral fat is down to 6, and the curve in this is a little bit less than it had been before. So this is the last one that I did in January, on January 6th. This was after a lot of football games and they were mostly carnivore snacks and carnivore tailgating food and stuff like that. After a Christmas where I splurged a lot on some sugar choices that I should not have done. Between the December measurement and the January measurement, my skeletal muscle mass actually went down 0.2 pounds, which is not very much. And my body fat went up 0.9 pounds. So this is the difference in December and January. In general, the goal from November and December was to gain muscle mass without gaining weight. And so if you look at the totals, my weight went from 136.6 in the beginning of November to 133.9 in the beginning of January. And my muscle mass went from 53.8 to 54. Very small, but challenge accepted and goal reached. So what I concluded from this challenge is that significant changes can be made to your body composition with just a little bit of focus on strength training, movement in general, and what goes into your mouth. Emma, the trainer, when I came back for the December measurement, after just 1 month of focusing on the slow burn workouts, she said she had never seen anybody improve that much in 1 month, especially only working out twice a week. She said, yeah, if somebody's coming in an hour 5 times a week, they might see those kinds of results. But only doing 20 minutes twice a week, she had never seen those kinds of improvements. I believe that the results that we get from weight loss are 90% about what goes into our mouth. And I also think that the quality of what we put in our mouth is what is going to contribute to healing. And while on Carnivore, it is very easy to lose fat and even gain muscle with very little effort. So if you truly want to mold your body into something that looks strong and fit, just add a little bit of strength training and you will start to see amazing results in the way you look. The second thing that I wanted to chat with you about today is that Carb-Sober Cruise that I went on that Dr. Lisa Wiedemann put together. I cannot express to you what a joy it was to be with other like-minded carnivores that really understood the lifestyle that we lead. It was like the no judgment zone. It was awesome. But a couple things that I took away from speaking to these people is that everybody has a different journey. People come to carnivore from all kinds of different spaces. Some come to carnivore for healing, diabetes, heart disease, obesity, and all of the diseases that go along with it. A few other people came to it from the autoimmune space like I did. And these people have testimonies of amazing healing. And that is just so encouraging to me that something so simple as taking processed foods and sugars and grains and vegetables and fruits out of your diet, focusing on healthy, nutritious meats and animal products, and that just brings so much healing. So the other kind of people, a lot of people come to this space primarily for weight loss. And a lot of people asked me questions about how did you get the weight off? How did you get so much weight off? And honestly, I did not get that much weight off. I started at 165 pounds and I'm now at my maintenance weight at 130. That reminds me, some of the funny things people say. I've had several people tell me in person and on social media, don't lose any more weight. You're getting too skinny. Now I have a question. How many people, when I was overweight, would say, don't gain any more weight. You're getting too heavy. It's just funny the things that people will say. And I understand that it's meant to be a compliment. And what they're basically saying is, hey, Beth, you look good. But it's just interesting. Anyway, I digress. Where was I? Carb-Sober Cruise. Some people come to it from a weight loss perspective, and that's fine. But they were frequently asking me about weight loss stalls that they were experiencing, and I really don't have an answer for that because number one, I'm not a doctor, and number two, my weight loss was fairly linear. It wasn't ever a goal for me. So although I tracked it, it wasn't a priority. But what I can tell from watching other videos and talking to other people is that if your weight loss is stalled, it could be a few things. Number one, you could be eating more carbs than you realize you are. Number two, most likely you are still restricting the amount of food that you are eating. We come from a space where we have been doing this for so many years. It's hard to change the habit of being on a diet and restricting calories. So if you are not experiencing the weight loss that you would like to experience on carnivore, my suggestion to you would be to track it for a little while. I am what they call an intuitive carnivore. I can eat what makes me feel well, not eat what makes me feel bad, and I can pretty much take care of my body just by how it feels. There are those that don't have those leptin and ghrelin levels in their body. I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to go into that science, but maybe your body doesn't tell you when it's full, and maybe your body doesn't have a way of telling you when it's hungry. So without those hormone levels being in perfect balance, maybe you're not realizing that you're under eating, or maybe you're not realizing that you're overeating. But in most cases, from what I can tell, people are under eating. And that is what is causing your body to still hold on to some of the extra fat. When your body feels safe and it knows that it's going to get the nutrition and the energy that it needs from your food every day, it will let go of the extra weight. It has no reason to hold on to it. If it doesn't, and if you track, and if you are eating an appropriate amount of calories for you, which for women on carnivore that are at maintenance, what I can tell, that can be anywhere from 1,800 to 3,000 calories a day. If you're getting enough and you're eating the right foods and you're not losing the weight, you might want to check out some other things like your hormone levels. So that's just one of the things that I realized from the Carb-Sober Cruise is that everybody has a different journey. Everybody's carnivore trajectory is different. Mine was fairly linear, a little bit of a curve at the bottom, but I came into it and I was very, very clean for 60 days. And then I added a little bit of other things back in, like herbs and spices, a little bit of dill pickles, a little bit of sauerkraut, and a little bit of carbonara sauce. I have been very open about the fact that I do those things occasionally. I highly recommend, Dr. Lisa has a lot of other cruises and events planned in the coming year. So I would highly recommend that you check into those. If I can, I'll put a link to some of those in the show notes below. Which leads me to the last topic that I wanted to talk about today, which is something I'm going to term carb creep. This is what happened to me during Christmas, and this is why I believe the results of my InBody in January were not what I had hoped for. Although I did gain 1 pound in January, that's still less than I normally would have gained during the holidays. It's not that bad. I'm not complaining. I think I know what I can attribute that change to. So I have a tradition every Christmas time of having my grandsons over to make Snickerdoodles. And I had them over, the 3 oldest ones. It was a couple days before Christmas, and we made Snickerdoodles. And while making the dough, I ate a little bit of dough. And while rolling out the dough and rolling it in the sugar and cinnamon mixture, I ate a little bit of dough. And when they came out of the oven and a few of them were broken, I was like, boys, hey, let's just eat a few of these broken cookies. And we ate some broken cookies. And that night after dinner, we had cookies and milk for dessert. I think the boys had chocolate milk or hot chocolate and cookies, and I had plain whole milk. And. So it just kept going. So I have always said on my videos, and I am eating my words right now, mark my words. Hi, I'm Beth, and I am a Snickerdoodle addict. I have said that I'm not a carb addict, but what I have learned is that with the right stimulus, I can quickly go into the carb ditch. And I realized that immediately I was seeing the difference. I was seeing the difference in my face. I was feeling a difference in my joints. 1 pound is really not that much when you think about it. But 1 pound of water, this is a 20-ounce bottle. It's half full right now. So this is about 10 ounces. This is less than a pound of water. So 1 pound of water in your joints, in your neck, in your hips, in your knees, in your hands, that can make a significant difference in the way that you feel. And I know for me, I felt like the change in me after eating Snickerdoodles for a few days was inflammation. I could tell that inflammation had returned to my body. It had also affected my brain, my clarity. It had affected my gut, which could be the sugar, the flour, a lot of other things in the Snickerdoodles could have affected my gut. I make my Snickerdoodles gluten-free, and I make them with real butter, and we use really good ingredients, organic where possible. And so it was good quality ingredients, and yet gluten-free flour is still flour. It's almond flour and other kinds of flours mixed in there besides wheat. Rice flour, almond flour, those kinds of things. Yeah, so it highly affected me. After doing my InBody in January and being more strict on my carnivore diet again, it only took a week to get that extra pound off and to get the inflammation out of my joints. So within a week after going back on a focused, strict, meat-only diet, the inflammation was gone again. And that's how fast I had results in the beginning. When I first got on carnivore in the beginning, it was less than a week before I noticed a difference in the inflammation in my joints. And that was my primary reason for starting carnivore, was arthritis. So all that to say, sugar is the devil. It is for me. I have consequences when I make a choice to eat sugar and other non-carnivore foods. If I stay strictly on meat and animal products, I don't have those results. So to me, I will remain carnivore for the foreseeable future. Every once in a while, I may make a choice to eat a couple Snickerdoodles with my grandsons, or to eat a few berries on a special occasion with some homemade whipped cream. I make the choice occasionally to eat some sauerkraut or a pickle. I often put spices on my meat now, and I don't seem to have any effect from that. You need to do what makes you feel the best. I'm not telling you that you can't do spices, but what I would recommend is that at least for your first 90 days, you go as clean as possible. And then after that, if you want to try adding a few foods back in, that is your choice. I'm also telling you that if you are doing carnivore to the best of your ability at this time and you are not seeing the results that you want, track. Use the Carb Manager app. It's free. Track for a week and see where you might be lacking. Maybe you're getting more carbs than you think. Maybe it's what you're drinking. Maybe you're not drinking enough water. Maybe you're still drinking diet soda. Maybe you're still drinking flavored electrolytes. Maybe it's something else. Maybe you're not eating enough calories. Maybe you're eating too many. So this is my conclusion. The quality of food that goes in my mouth determines my health. I can improve my fitness drastically with just a little bit of strength training and some daily low impact cardio. I feel better on the tennis courts. I'm performing better on the tennis courts, by the way. I'm the only 61-year-old that I know of that got promoted to the next level in soft court tennis this year. So I am improving in my overall fitness and athletic ability, which I'm not a natural athlete, y'all. I'm not natural. I have to work at it. But those things are getting better. I still feel better. Even when I slip and I make a choice and I eat a little bit of sugar and I get a little bit of inflammation, I still feel hundreds of times better than I did in my 30s, 40s, and 50s when I was massively inflamed. So I hope that this has brought you some encouragement today. I did not mean to be a Debbie Downer, but I will stick by my guns. Sugar is the devil. Eat meat, stay healthy, be as active as you can, and enjoy this lifestyle. It is just such a joy to know that every day I'm going to have all of the energy that I need to succeed at whatever I want to do. Thanks for joining me, and thanks for watching to the end. I'll see you next time. Hopefully that'll be real soon. Bye-bye now.